Constitution of India, the Union and its territory, name and territory of the Union, admission or establishment of new states, formation of new states, and alteration of areas, boundaries, or names of existing states. Laws made under Article 2 or 3 to provide for the amendment of the first and the fourth schedules in supplemental, incidental, and consequential matters. Part 2, citizenship at the commencement of the Constitution. Rights of citizenship of certain personnel who have migrated to India from Pakistan. Not all those who wander are lost. Not all those who wander are lost. Not all those who wander are lost. Okay, let's start with the very first chapter of this book. Part 1. Article 395 repeals authoritative text in the language. Name and territory of the Union. Name and territory of the Union. India, that is Bharat, shall be a union of states. The states and the territories thereof shall be as specified in the first schedule. The territory of India shall comprise the territories of the states. The Union territories is specified in the first schedule, and such other territories as may be acquired. Admission or establishment of new states. Parliament may by law admit into the Union or establish new states on such terms and conditions as it thinks fit. Sikkim to be associated with the Union. Repealed by the Constitution 36 Amendment Act 1975. Section 5, Subclause 5, with effect from 26th April 1975. Formation of new states and alteration of areas, boundaries, or names of existing states. Parliament may by law form a new state by separation of territory from any state, or by uniting two or more states or parts of states, or by uniting any territory to a part of any state. Increase the area of any state. Diminish the area of any state. Alter the boundaries of any state. Alter the name of any state, provided that no bill for the purpose shall be introduced in either House of Parliament except on the recommendation of the President, and unless where the proposal contained in the bill affects the area, boundaries, or name of any of the states. The bill has been referred by the President to the legislature of that state for expressing its views thereon within such period as may be specified in the reference, or within such further period as the President may allow in the period so specified or allowed has expired. Explanation 1. In this article clauses A to E, State includes a union territory, but in the proviso, state does not include a union territory. Be yourself, everyone else is already taken. Be yourself, everyone else is already taken. I'm selfish, impatient, and a little insecure. Marilyn Monroe. I am selfish, impatient, and a little insecure. I make mistakes. I am out of control. And at times hard to handle, but if you can't handle me at my worst, then you sure as hell don't deserve me at my best. Then you sure as hell don't deserve me at my best. So many books, so little time. Two things are infinite. Two things are infinite: the universe and the human stupidity. Stupidity, and I'm not sure about the universe. Two things are infinite: the universe and human stupidity. I'm not sure about the universe. A room without books is like a body without a room without books is like a body without a soul. Be who you are and say what you feel, because those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. Be who you are. Be who you are and say what you feel, because those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. And those who matter don't mind. A room without book is like a body without a soul. Marcus Tullius Cicero. Marcus Tullius Cicero. You have got to dance like there's nobody watching. Love like you will never be hurt. Sing like there's nobody listening, and live like it's heaven on earth. You know you are in love when you can't fall asleep, because reality is finally better than your dreams. You know you are in love when you can't fall asleep, because reality is finally better than your dreams. But if you do it right, once is enough. You only live once. But if you do it right, once is enough. Mae West. You only live once. But if you do it right, once is enough. You only live once, my friend. You only live once. But if you do it right, once is enough. You only live once. You only live once. But if you do it right, once is enough. Be the change that you wish to see in the world. Be the change that you wish to see in the world. Be the change that you wish to see in the world. Be the change that you wish to see in the world. In 3 words, I can sum up everything I have learned about life. It goes on. Robert Frost. If you want to know what a man's like, take a good look at how he treats his inferiors, not his equals. Now don't walk in front of me, I may not follow. Don't walk behind me, I may not lead. Walk beside me, just be my friend. Don't walk in front of me, I may not follow. Don't walk behind me, I may not lead. Walk beside me, just be my friend. If you tell the truth, you don't have to remember anything. If you tell the truth, you don't have to remember anything. I have learned that people will forget what you said. People will forget what you did. People will never forget how you made them feel. I've learned that people will forget what you said. People will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. How you made them feel. Friendship is born at the moment when one man says to another, "What, you two?" I thought that no one but myself. To live is the rarest thing in the world. Most people exist, that is all. To live is the rarest thing in the world. Most people exist. Most people exist, that is all. To live is the rarest thing in the world. To live is the rarest thing in the world. Oscar Wilde. A friend is someone who knows all about you and still loves you. Friend is someone. Always forgive your enemies. Nothing annoys them so much. Always forgive your enemies. Nothing annoys them so much. Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. A testament of hope, the essential writing of speeches. Live as if you were to die tomorrow. Learn as if you were to live forever. Learn as if you were to live, if you were to live. If you were to die, if you were to die, if you were to live, if you were to live. If you were to die, live as if you were. If you were to die, if you were to live, if you were to live forever. If you were to live, if you were to live forever. Learn as if you were to live forever, Mahatma Gandhi. We accept the love we think we deserve, Stephen. The perks of being a wallflower, and without music, the life would be a mistake. Frederick Nietzsche. Twilight of the Idols. Twilight.
Nature.
German philosopher and writer who started his career as a classical philologist and turned in a book about the German philosopher Friedrich by philosopher Walter Kaufmann. It's better to be hated for what you are than to be loved for what you are not. Many have come, many have gone. Many have come, many have gone. Explanation in this article. Includes A to E state includes a union territory, but in the provincial state does not include a union territory. The power conferred on Parliament by Clause A. power conferred on Parliament by clause by the Constitution's 7th Amendment Act. In this article, in clauses 2A to A, state includes a union territory, but in the proviso, state does not include a union territory. The power conferred on Parliament by clause includes the power to form a new state or union territory by the United part of any state or union territory to any other state or union territory. Laws made under Article 2 and 3 to provide for the amendment of the first and the fourth schedules in supplemental, incidental, and consequential matters. Any law referred to in Article 2 or Article 3 shall contain such provisions for the amendment of the first schedule and the fourth schedule as may be necessary to give effect to the provisions necessary to give effect to the provisions of the law, and may also contain such supplemental, incidental, and consequential provisions, including provisions as to representation in Parliament and in the legislature or legislatures of the state or states affected by such law. As Parliament may deem necessary, no such law as aforesaid shall be deemed to be an amendment of this Constitution for the purposes of Article 368. Part 2 is citizenship. Citizenship at the commencement of the Constitution. At the commencement of this Constitution, every person who has his domicile in the territory of India and was born in the territory of India, or either of whose parents was born in the territory of India, or who has been ordinarily resident in the territory of India for not less than 5 years, immediately preceding such commencement, shall be a citizen of India. Who was born in the territory of India, either of whose parents was born in the territory of India, either of whose parents was born in the territory of India, who was born in India, either of whose parents was born, either of whose parents was born in the territory of India, or who has been ordinarily resident in the territory of India for not less than 5 years. Why don't they just write for at least 5 years instead of writing not less than 5 years? Not less, at least 5 and not less 5. At least 5 and not less than 5. When we say not less than 5, it means 4. So 4 is not accepted. It's not acceptable. Then if we say at least 5, still 4 is not acceptable. 5 is accepted. 6 is accepted. Alright, let's continue. Rights of citizenship of certain persons who have migrated to India from Pakistan. What are the rights of citizenship? Rights of citizenship of certain persons should say, it's not everybody, certain persons who have migrated to India from Pakistan, notwithstanding anything in Article 5 here. Notwithstanding anything, rights of citizenship of certain persons who have migrated to India from Pakistan. Notwithstanding anything in Article 5, a person who has migrated to the territory of India, a person who has migrated to the territory of India from the territory now included in Pakistan, shall be deemed to be a citizen of India, shall be considered to be a citizen, shall be deemed or considered to be a citizen of India at the commencement of this constitution, of this constitution, if he or either of his parents or any of his grandparents, if he or either of his parents or any of his grandparents, either of his parents or any of his grandparents was born in India as deemed in the Government of India Act 1935 as originally enacted, and in the case where such person has so migrated before the 19th day of July 1948, he has been ordinarily resident in the territory of India since the date of his migration, or in the case where such person has so migrated on or after the 19th day of July 1948, he has been registered as a citizen of India by an officer appointed in that behalf by the Government of the Dominion of India, on an application made by him therefore to such officer before the commencement of the Constitution in the form and manner prescribed by that government, provided that no person shall be so registered unless he has been resident in the territory of India for at least 6 months immediately preceding the date of his application. It was quite it was big. We'll have to read it once again because it was difficult to understand it in one go. Notwithstanding anything in Article 5, a person who has migrated, it says, remember guys, a person who has migrated to the territory of India from the territory now included in Pakistan shall be deemed to be a citizen of India at the commencement of this constitution if he or either of his parents or any of his grandparents was born in India as defined in the Government of India Act 1935 as originally enacted, and in the case where such person has so migrated before the 19th day of July 1948, he has been ordinarily resident in the territory of India since the date of his migration, or in the case where such person has so migrated on or after the 19th day of the July 1948, he has been registered as a citizen of India by an officer appointed in that behalf by the Government of Dominion of India, or an application made by him therefore to such officer before the commencement of this constitution in the form and manner prescribed by that government, provided that no person shall be so registered unless he has been resident in the territory of India for at least 6 months immediately preceding the date of his application, and rights of citizenship of certain migrants to Pakistan, notwithstanding anything in Article 5 and 6. A person who has after the 1st day of March 1947 migrated from the territory of India to the territory now included in Pakistan shall not be deemed to be a citizen of India. Now, provided that nothing in this article shall apply to a person who, after having so migrated to the territory now included in Pakistan, has returned to the territory of India under a permit for resettlement or permanent return issued by or under the authority of any law, and every such person shall, for the purposes of clause B of Article 6, be deemed to have migrated to the territory of India after the 19th day of July 1948. Rights of citizenship of certain persons of Indian origin residing outside India, notwithstanding anything in Article 5. Any person who or either of those parents or any of whose grandparents was born in India as defined in the Government of India Act 1935 as originally enacted and who is ordinarily residing in any country outside India as so defined shall be deemed to be a citizen of India if he has been registered as an citizen of India by the diplomatic or consular representative of India in the country where he is for the time being residing on. So does that happen to you as well? When you read something, you try to visualize something. So while reading this Article 8, I was visualizing a scene of a courtroom where I am a lawyer defending my case. Persons, okay, let's move on to the next one. Persons voluntarily acquiring citizenship of a foreign state not to be citizens. No person shall be a citizen of India by virtue of Article 5 or be deemed to be a citizen of India by virtue of Article 6. By virtue of Article 6 it says, or Article 8, if he has voluntarily acquired the citizenship of any foreign state. Continuance of the rights of citizenship. Every person who is or is deemed to be a citizen of India under any of the foregoing provisions of this part shall, subject to the provisions of any law that may be made by Parliament, continue to be such citizen. Parliament to regulate the right of citizenship by law. Parliament to regulate the right of citizenship. Parliament to regulate the right of citizenship by law. Nothing in the foregoing provisions. Does anybody know the best method or the best ways to, I don't want to cram the articles, but of course I have to know it verbatim. I have to know it. So if I were to ask so and so article, I should be able to speak the verbatim. Nothing in the foregoing provisions of this part shall derogate from the power of Parliament to make any provision. Is anybody there? Is anybody listening to me? Is anybody watching to me? Now watching to me or watching me, listening to me, I know this we use listen to, but we don't say watching to. Is if so, pardon by mistake, pardon me. So if anybody watching me, express your presence out loud. persons voluntarily acquiring citizenship of a foreign state not to be citizens. No person shall be a citizen of India by virtue of Article 5 or be deemed to be a citizen of India by virtue of Article 6 or Article 8. Okay, I think we have covered this already, so we'll just move on to the next page. Nothing in the foregoing provisions of this part shall derogate from the power of Parliament to make any provision with respect to the acquisition and termination of citizenship and other matters relating to citizenship. Let me take a 2-minute break here. We are on the 4th page. We'll read 10 pages of this book.